Hello! Here in the workshop again. I've got myself a cup of tea and there's a Sony cassette deck on the bench, as most commonly is in here, to be honest with you. So I just wanted to, I thought as I'm doing this, I'm seeing something more and more, and I just wanted to put something out there so that we can maybe start a conversation about it, you know, to get a few comments saying I've experienced this, I haven't experienced this, etc, etc. So topic of this, as usual, is Sony transports and our usual TCM 190 transport, which is found in your 611s, most of your mid-range 3-head Sony decks, and in amongst this is a capstan, the same as most other transports, as you can see. But I'm finding something very commonly with these transports, and these are quite difficult to find parts for as well, unless you buy a whole transport, which sometimes isn't really feasible. But let's see if we can zoom in a little bit. This is the complaint is wow and flutter is horrendous on it, and if you can just let me see if we can zoom in there onto the capstan, you can see that it's developed hairline cracks around the capstan area there. So you can see all those cracks all around the edge, and obviously what happens is, as that cracks, the crack is just an air gap. The capstan itself will expand and it will be no longer circular, so you start noticing wow and flutter on it and things like that. So these capstans, this one's going to get changed in a minute, as you can see. I'm going to try and point it out just in case it's something it's not too obvious. Look at these cracks all the way down here, and there's one there as well. These aren't going to get better, you can't fill them full of super glue or anything like that. Basically this needs replacing or binning. I find this with the 611 series more commonly, because this capstan seems to be spinning more, or if it's in a deck that's been exposed to more moisture in the environment. And just in order for some comparison, there's a good capstan. As you can see, there's a huge significant difference. And I'm finding this more and more, actually. I get one of these in probably once every couple of months. There's not really much you can do, because this is pressed aluminium, I'm going to say, or some kind of pressed composite metal, and the axle obviously is pressed in from the outside. It's important to keep this axle straight, as you all know, but you could put it in a lathe, but you're still not going to solve the problem. So really the only solution is a replacement, and these are actually quite hard to get hold of. I have a stock of a few because, you know, I'm aware that sometimes you need one and sometimes you don't have everything. But I think this might be like my second to last one. They are in plenty of other different transports. I see a few people on Facebook groups and things like that saying, look, has anybody got one of these? I really need one. But what I'll do as a favour to the community is I have a list of all the Sony decks that have this transport in. It means that you can sometimes pick up a cheapo transport through a cheapo knackered deck on eBay or something like that, and therefore, you know, you can salvage it for parts or whatever. I'm not going to show a video changing this capstan because it's pretty straightforward. I just wanted to chat about these things. But if you are changing the capstan, make sure it's nice and clean. A little bit of grease on the back, a little bit of oil on the front, and make sure all this is clean as a whistle once you get it in, and, you know, make sure there's no oil on the end that's going to get on your tape. But if any of you experienced anything, if anybody's selling any of these, then get in touch. It's something that crops up. You can have a look in your own deck as well. And that's really about it. Just a real short, 2 or 3 minute video discussing this. And if you've got some horrendous wow and flutter on your deck and you can't get rid of it, just have a little eyeball and a little thought for the old capstan here. Alright, that's it. I'm in process of making another video, but I'm dragging myself with it. I am dragging my heels a little bit. By now, I've got a couple of decks to fire through, but the next one's going to be pretty cool, actually, pretty special. And that's it. Hope everyone's staying safe out there. The wind and the weather's pretty horrendous. And not only over here, but also across America, obviously. So everyone stay safe. Have a nice October. Peace.